There's a moment in life when you realize that some people aren't in your life because they love you. They're there because they need something from you. They need your time, your energy, your kindness, or your resources. And as long as you keep giving, they'll keep taking. But the moment you say no, the moment you stop meeting their every demand, and that's when the truth hits you. They weren't with you for you. They were with you for what they could get from you. This is why it is crucial to know your worth before someone else defines it for you. If you don't recognize your value, you'll constantly find yourself trying to prove it to people who were never meant to have access to you in the first place. You'll say yes when you want to say no. You'll give until you're drained. And worst of all, you'll confuse being used for being loved. People will take as much as you allow them to. That's the hard truth. It's not always intentional, but if you don't set boundaries, some people will push until there's nothing left of you. They will call it love, they will call it friendship, they will call it just how things are, but what they're really doing is taking without giving. And when you finally ask for something in return, suddenly you're the problem. Guilt is often the weapon that people use to keep you in a place of overgiving. They'll make you feel bad for saying no. They'll make you believe that you owe them something. But let me tell you this, you don't owe anyone your exhaustion, your peace, or your self-respect. Boundaries are not walls to keep love out. They are the fences that protect you from being drained by the wrong people. Because the right people don't need to use you. They respect you. They reciprocate. They pour into you just as much as you pour into them. Real love, real friendship, real support. It's never about what someone can take from you. It's about what they are willing to give to you as well. So stop explaining yourself. Stop apologizing for setting boundaries. Stop letting guilt keep you in spaces where you are only valuable when you are useful. Your worth isn't measured by what you can do for others. It's measured by how much you value yourself. And the moment you stop letting people use you, that's the moment you finally take your power back. Too often, people allow others to define their worth. They let relationships, friendships, jobs, and even society decide what they deserve, how much they should give, and what value they bring to the table. But when you don't know your worth, you unknowingly hand over the power to people who may not have your best interests at heart. When you don't truly believe in your own value, you start accepting less than you deserve. You tolerate disrespect, mistreatment, and one-sided relationships because deep down you wonder if this is all you're worth. And that's where the danger lies. Because when someone else defines your value, they will always undervalue you to serve their own needs. People will take advantage of those who don't recognize their own strength. They will use kind-hearted people as a means to an end, knowing that their need for validation will keep them saying yes when they should say no. They will make you feel like your worth is tied to how much you can give, how much you can sacrifice, and how much you can endure. But the truth is, your worth is not dependent on anyone else's approval, validation, or expectations. The moment you fully understand your worth, everything changes. You stop over-explaining yourself. You stop allowing people to treat you like an option. You stop apologizing for expecting respect, honesty, and reciprocity. Knowing your worth means refusing to settle, even when it's uncomfortable. It means walking away from people who drain you, even if you once cared about them deeply. It means choosing yourself, even when the world tells you that you should put everyone else first. But understanding your worth isn't just about walking away from toxic people. It's about shifting how you see yourself. It's about realizing that you don't have to prove yourself to be worthy of love, respect, or kindness. You are already enough. Your value doesn't come from what you do for others. It comes from who you are. People will always try to define you in a way that benefits them. But when you stand firm in who you are, when you refuse to let others determine your value, you reclaim your power. And that power, it changes everything. People will always take as much as you allow them to. It's not always out of malice sometimes. It's just human nature. If you keep saying yes, if you keep overextending yourself, if you keep putting others' needs ahead of your own, people will come to expect it. They will take your kindness as a given, your generosity as an obligation, and your time as something they are entitled to. And before you know it, you'll be running on empty, wondering why no one is pouring into you the way you pour into them. The truth is, people don't stop taking just because you're tired. They stop when you decide you've had enough, when you set boundaries, when you say no, when you choose yourself instead of constantly giving in to the demands of others. If you don't put limits on how much you give, people won't either. That's why boundaries aren't just important, they are necessary. They protect your time, your energy, your emotional well-being. Some people will make you feel guilty for saying no. They will act like you've changed, like you're selfish, like you don't care. But understand this, people who only appreciate you when they're benefiting from you were never really appreciating you at all. They were appreciating what you could do for them. And the moment you stop overextending yourself, the moment you start prioritizing your own needs, those people will either step up and respect your boundaries, or they will leave in search of someone else to take from. Either way, you win. It's not your job to be everything for everyone. It's not your responsibility to constantly meet other people's needs at the expense of your own. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to put yourself first. And the moment you realize that you are not obligated to give endlessly, you take your power back. Because the only people who will be upset by your boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. Guilt is one of the most powerful tools people use to keep you in a position of overgiving, over-explaining, and over-sacrificing. It sneaks in, disguised as obligation, love, and responsibility. People will make you feel bad for saying no, for putting yourself first, for refusing to meet their endless expectations. They will act hurt, disappointed, or even angry, not because you did something wrong, but because you stopped letting them control what you give. Guilt is their weapon, but boundaries are your shield. When you set boundaries, you are not being selfish. You are being self-respecting. You are making it clear what you will and will not tolerate, what you are willing to give, and what is beyond your capacity. And the people who truly care about you will respect those boundaries, even if they don't always like them. But the ones who relied on your guilt to keep taking from you, they will push back. They will test your limits. They will try to convince you that setting boundaries means you are unkind, ungrateful, or abandoning them. But understand this, healthy relationships don't require you to betray yourself to keep someone else happy. Love, respect, and care should never come at the cost of your well-being. You are not responsible for carrying other people's burdens at the expense of your own. You are not responsible for making sure everyone else is comfortable while you suffer in silence. And you are certainly not responsible for fixing people who refuse to fix themselves. Boundaries are not meant to push people away. They are meant to filter the right people in. The ones who respect you will honor your limits. The ones who only valued what you could give them will be the first to complain, guilt trip, or leave. And that's okay, because the people who walk away when you start setting boundaries were only there because they had access to you, not because they truly valued you. So stand firm. Protect your peace. Refuse to let guilt manipulate you into giving more than you have. Your boundaries are not a betrayal of anyone else. They are a commitment to yourself. And that commitment, it's the greatest act of self-respect you will ever give. The right people in your life will never need to use you. They won't manipulate you into giving more than you can, and they won't measure your worth by what you can offer them. Healthy relationships, whether friendships, family, or romantic, are built on mutual respect, not one-sided sacrifice. If someone only values you when they need something, they never truly valued you at all. When you find yourself constantly being drained, always the one making the effort, always the one solving problems that aren't yours, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this relationship based on genuine care, or is it based on convenience? People who truly care about you will check in on you, not just when they need a favor, but because they value you as a person. They will offer their time, their energy, and their support, not just take yours. The right people don't guilt you into helping them. They don't expect you to exhaust yourself just to keep them happy. They don't keep a mental tally of what you've done for them and only show up when they need more. Instead, they show up because they want to, not because they need to. They respect your boundaries, honor your time, and care about your well-being. They don't just take from you, they pour into you too. Wrong people will make you feel like saying no is a betrayal. The right people will understand that sometimes you need to take care of yourself first. They don't make you feel selfish for choosing your own peace, and they don't make you question whether you are only valuable when you're useful. If someone in your life only sticks around because of what they can gain, let them go. It might be painful, but it will also be freeing. Because once you remove the ones who only take, you make room for the ones who truly give. And those are the people who deserve your time, your energy, and your heart. At the end of the day, you have a choice. You can continue allowing people to take advantage of your kindness, to drain your energy, and to make you feel like your worth is tied to what you can do for them. Or you can stand up, set boundaries, and decide that you deserve better. Knowing your worth isn't just about saying the words, it's about enforcing them. It's about recognizing when people are using guilt as a weapon and choosing to protect your peace instead. It's about understanding that real relationships don't require endless sacrifice, and that the right people in your life will never need to manipulate, drain, or take advantage of you. People will always take as much as you allow them to. That's why it's up to you to draw the line, to stop apologizing for having boundaries, to stop explaining why you can't always be everything to everyone, to stop feeling guilty for putting yourself first. Because the moment you stop letting people use you, you take back control of your life. You reclaim your energy, your confidence, and your peace. And most importantly, you make space for the relationships that truly deserve you.